on Twitter, saying that and using his rally over the weekend to lash out at the media. The move sparking major backlash on both sides of the aisle. Still, though, the White House Chief of Staff, Reince Priebus, digging in. Listen.
Here's the problem. When the president says that we're the enemy of the American people, it makes it sound like if you're going against him, successful meeting with Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of the UK, the Prime Minister of Canada. We covered all of those news conferences live. Everybody did. Right, sure. Yeah, right. But then as soon as it was over, the next 20 hours is all about Russian spies. But you don't get to tell us what to do. Nothing's happening. You don't get to tell us what to do any more than Barack Obama did. Barack Obama whined about Fox News all the time, but I got to say, he never said that we were an enemy of the people.
Joining us live from New York, CNN senior media correspondent Brian Stelter, certainly busy these days, and Larry Sabato, director of the Center for Politics at the University of Virginia. And Larry, we will get to your tweeting about Thomas Jefferson and all of this in just a moment, but let's begin with Brian Stelter, because Brian, it is not the job of the it is not the job of the media to be the friend of the president. Never has been.
It reminds me of that kind of cliche from reality TV shows. I'm not here to make friends. That's what all the contestants say. Well, that's sort of true for journalists. We're not here to be liked by any administration, by any people in power. That has always been true, but it's especially relevant right now with a president who's sloppy, who's misleading, who makes misstatements on a near daily basis. That's just an objective view of what's going on today. Correct the record, and that's why the coverage is very aggressive right now.
Larry, the president in his rally on Saturday brought up other presidents who he notes have had an adversarial relationship with the press. Thomas Jefferson, Andrew Jackson, Abraham Lincoln, that's who he named. He was remiss, though, in not remembering, as you've been tweeting, a lot of things that Thomas Jefferson had to say about the press. One of the things, key thing, if I had to choose between government without newspapers and newspapers without government, I wouldn't hesitate to choose the latter. Not that, but we'll pull it up on the screen for you. Your thoughts?
There we go.
That we should always be aware of leaders who are trying to shut up allegations into their actions. And that, in my mind, is what makes what Donald Trump did and said in that tweet and followed up in his Florida rally so disturbing, because this feeds into the image, Pompey, that many, many people have domestically and abroad, that Trump has authoritarian tendencies. He always has a double figure. For years it was Barack Obama, who wasn't a citizen, supported Hillary Clinton for a couple of years. And now, I think his new target, maybe permanent target, is the nation, but it doesn't mean you're right.
Well, I think the question also becomes, Brian, twofold. To what end? But more importantly, to what damage? What damage does it do to democracy? Just take a listen to what his Republican colleagues said about it over the weekend. Senator John McCain and Governor Kasich.
If you want to preserve democracy as we know it, you have to have a free and many times adversarial press. And without it, I'm afraid that we will repress. And while with the reporting of the press, they're vital. They're really such an important part of democracy.
From other countries. We all know that's not true, and he knows that's not true. The nation's going to be held to an equal